The story begins with a view of the Arctic Ocean, where Julia and Oscar are installing a sonar device in the water for an experiment. Suddenly, Oscar receives an emergency call warning him of an approaching storm and urging them to evacuate as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, we see a Russian submarine detecting high-intensity noise from a distance. They notice the sea level slowly rising, which leaves the team stunned. At the same time, Julia's scanners start giving incorrect readings, and the ice around their camp begins to crack. Seeing this, Oscar rushes to Julia and tells her they need to leave immediately because time is running out. However, Julia wants to complete her experiment before leaving. Realizing the worsening weather, she reluctantly agrees to Oscar's pleas, hops onto his snowmobile, and they start to escape. But the ice is breaking faster than they anticipated. On the submarine, the team discovers that the noises they're hearing aren't from ocean waves, but from a biological entity, a living creature in the sea. Before they can process this, a massive creature collides with their submarine, triggering all emergency alarms. The team feels as though the creature has grabbed the submarine and is pulling it down rapidly. Meanwhile, Julia and Oscar are struggling to escape as the ice continues to crack behind them. Oscar spots a terrifying ice storm rising ahead, which panics him. In his nervousness, he loses control and their snowmobile crashes into an ice cliff, exploding on impact. By the time they regain consciousness, their camp has been destroyed by the storm. Underwater, the submarine is under constant attack by the same massive creature. The team starts firing at it to fend it off. In the flashes of light, they catch glimpses of enormous tentacles. Before they can learn more about the creature, it attacks again, destroying the submarine. Just before it sinks, the captain orders the team to release an emergency signal, hoping their navy will come to their rescue. The next day, the Russian Navy headquarters receives the signal, informing them of the submarine's disappearance. The officers are shaken as the submarine carried powerful weapons. They immediately order a rescue team to retrieve the weapons, appointing Victor as the team leader. Victor is the brother of the missing submarine's captain. When Victor's mother learns he's going on this mission, she's deeply worried, but gives him his late father's watch for good luck. Victor takes the watch and sets off for the mission. At the base, Victor meets Admiral Olshansky, his father's old friend who has a gruff demeanor and is also assigned to the mission. As Victor enters the submarine, some crew members complain about being called back from their leave early, but Victor doesn't reveal the mission's details yet. Meanwhile, Julia and Oscar are wandering in the icy storm, their spirits broken. They have no food, no shelter, and no signal on their satellite phone. Determined to escape, Julia searches for a signal and nearly falls into a deep crevasse. Oscar saves her just in time, and when Julia checks her phone, she finds a signal. She quickly contacts an oil rig company, but the storm's noise drowns out her voice and the call cuts off when the signal disappears. Feeling hopeless, Oscar fires a flare gun as a last-ditch effort. Julia notices a red light glowing on the ice ahead. Curious, they rush toward it and discover it's the emergency signal released by the missing submarine's captain. Knowing the Russian Navy will likely come for it, Julia tells Oscar to stay put. After hours of travel, Victor's submarine reaches the location where his brother's submarine vanished. They also pinpoint the emergency signal's location. Victor orders his team to head there, but instead of finding the submarine, they encounter two exhausted geologists, Julia and Oscar, in poor condition. Victor quickly brings them aboard, though he has an ulterior motive. He wants to learn what happened to his brother's submarine. When he questions Julia, she admits she initially thought their sonar device caused an underwater explosion, triggering a seaquake. However, her equipment recorded no seismic activity, leading her to believe a sea creature caused the disturbance. Hearing this, Victor recalls a strange incident from the previous day. As they approached the Arctic Circle, their radar detected an odd signal, a pod of whales repeatedly colliding with their submarine, as if trying to stop them. Admiral Olshansky ordered low-frequency signals to scare the whales away, despite Victor's objections as it could harm them. The signals worked temporarily, but the whales returned. Then another strange signal came from the ocean's depths, and the whales began to retreat. When the team analyzed the signal, they saw a massive creature swallow a whale in one gulp and start moving toward their submarine. Before they could process this, Admiral Olshansky ordered an attack, but Victor stopped him, arguing they couldn't attack an unknown creature. Instead, he directed the submarine into a narrow ice crevice, believing the creature couldn't follow. His plan worked. The creature couldn't spot them and left. Victor's decision saved the team. When Victor hears Julia's story, he realizes this is the same creature that destroyed the first submarine by breaking the ice. Julia, a Swedish citizen who has believed in sea monsters since childhood, wants no part in this dangerous game. She begs Victor to take her and Oscar to the oil rig she contacted, believing the creature won't reach it. When Victor checks the rig's location, it's not far, so he agrees to take them. On the way, the team notices the same strange signal on their screens, but don't see the creature slowly approaching from beneath the ocean floor. As they near the rig and prepare to contact its manager, the sea begins to churn. Giant tentacles emerge from the water, destroying the sturdy steel rig in seconds. Through a telescope, Victor sees the creature's true form, a massive octopus. The team is stunned, but before they can react, the rig is swallowed by the sea. With no other option, Victor's team prepares to flee, but the octopus turns towards their submarine. Enraged, Admiral Oshansky takes command and orders 2 torpedoes fired at the creature. The attack fails, the octopus survives, and becomes even more furious, charging at the submarine. Panicked, Oshansky hands command back to Victor. Victor orders the submarine to turn in another direction, narrowly escaping the octopus, though one tentacle grazes the submarine, damaging its parts. The submarine begins to sink. The octopus attacks again, setting the torpedo room on fire and trapping 7 crew members inside. The creature tries to drag the submarine deeper, surrounding it. Victor orders everyone to switch to silent mode, knowing sea creatures are attracted to noise. He halts firefighting efforts to avoid noise, causing carbon monoxide levels to rise in the torpedo room. His plan works. When the octopus hears no sound, it leaves. The crew quickly rescues and treats the injured, with Julia and Oscar helping Victor, earning the crew's trust. Later, Julia tells Victor about the Kraken, a mythical creature said to sleep for years. She believes her sonar experiments may have awakened it, and it's now seeking revenge. To survive, they must turn off the sonar. She also explains that octopuses drag prey to their lairs, meaning Victor's brother's submarine is likely near her old camp. As they discuss this, an officer detects a strange signal from a recording made during silent mode, coming from Julia's camp location. Victor convinces his crew to head to this dangerous area to rescue his brother and the others, despite some crew members' objections, as their weapons can't match the creature. As captain, Victor feels responsible and sets out, with the reluctant crew following. They reach a perilous crevasse, and Victor uses a mini-submarine with 2 officers to descend. Inside, they find hundreds of sunken ships, confirming Julia's Kraken story. They locate Victor's brother's submarine, its front section intact. Victor connects the mini-submarine to it and finds his brother, Alexander, and his crew alive. Overjoyed but shocked, Victor asks how they survived. Alexander explains they used silent mode to evade the Kraken. With limited space in the mini-submarine, Victor decides to evacuate the crew in 2 rounds, sending the first group back while staying with Alexander. As the first group reaches halfway, the Kraken awakens. Victor and Alexander work to activate special missiles. After much effort, the computer powers on and the missiles are ready. Just as the Kraken prepares to attack the main submarine, a tracker in the mini-submarine accidentally activates, drawing the Kraken towards it. Admiral Oshansky seizes the moment to order the main submarine to surface. Victor and Alexander input codes to arm the missiles, but the Kraken closes in, its tentacles gripping their submarine. The brothers radio each other, apologizing for past mistakes, but refusing to give up. They press the switch together, triggering a massive explosion that engulfs the Kraken in flames. A beam of light pierces the Arctic ice, shooting into the sky. The submarine begins to sink as water floods in. The brothers rush to the mini-submarine, but a wave separates them. Victor grabs Alexander's hand, pulling him into the mini-submarine just in time. However, the mini-submarine is stuck to the sinking ship, and the missiles are seconds from detonating. In a desperate move, Victor remembers the emergency lever and pulls it with all his strength, freeing the mini-submarine just before the explosion. On the surface, Admiral Oshansky and the crew wait anxiously. After a long wait with no sign of Victor and Alexander, they prepare to leave, disheartened. Suddenly, the mini-submarine breaks through the water, carrying Victor and Alexander. The crew erupts in joy and relief. Victor hands his father's watch to Alexander, but Alexander refuses, saying Victor is its rightful owner. Later, the crew returns to Russia, where the brothers reunite with their family. The seemingly impossible mission succeeds, and the movie ends here. What did you think of this thrilling story? Share your thoughts in the comments below.